So, have you ever heard of a six-figure wholesaler? Have you heard of a millionaire wholesaler? Have you heard of a billionaire wholesaler? Probably not a billionaire wholesaler, but it's okay. There's tons of money to be made, and I'm gonna tell you how to do it in this video. Let's go. Welcome back. We're talking about how much money wholesalers make, 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures. We're gonna be talking about all of that in this video. So go ahead and take a moment and subscribe to my channel. I am giving you a full real estate course right here for free, and I am one of the fastest growing channels on YouTube thanks to you. So let's talk about not only how much money that other people make as wholesalers, but I'm gonna tell you how I make even more than they do and how you can too. And then I'm also gonna give you this great trick that you can do so that you can get started and start making a lot of money today. Not with old information, none of this stuff that worked 10 years ago. I'm talking to you about stuff that works right now. Let's get to it. Wholesaling real estate is definitely a great thing to do to get started in real estate. So many of you already know it is kind of an entry-level way to get started investing in real estate without very much money, without using your credit. So essentially, this is for people that may have bad credit and no money but want to invest in real estate. And it's what I did to get started in real estate the correct way and what I used to quit my job. So let's kind of talk about what that means really quickly. All you have to do is market to people that have property problems, you get them under contract, and then you flip those contracts for an assignment fee, or you mark the price up for higher than you got it for. So let's kind of go through that and give you a quick example. I would market to people in the beginning, since 2009, 2010, there were a ton of foreclosures. So I targeted people that were in foreclosure, behind on your mortgage payments, is the bank gonna take the house? And in many cases, they were gonna be losing the house, they were gonna be losing the down payment, they were gonna be losing all of the money that they put into it, and the bank was taking the house back. So I was offering them this awesome solution where they did not trash their credit further. They did not have to actually go through the whole foreclosure process, okay? Which is very embarrassing for people. Sometimes your stuff is thrown outside, your neighbors know, they put signs on the door. Those people were in major, major distress. So when I would reach out to them and tell them, hey, look, I have this awesome way for you to avoid all of that. All you need to do, sign this contract, I'll buy the property for you. And then what I would do as the buyer, I would put my company name and I would put and or assigns. That gave me the right to assign the contract to someone else that could actually close on the property. And I could also assign it at a higher price, okay, or for a fee. So let's give you a quick example. I'm finding these people that are in foreclosure. They're losing the house. They lost their job. They're losing everything and they just need something cheaper, okay? So in many cases, their mortgage may have been $2,000 a month and they had to take a job where they're making a lot less money, so they need something cheaper. The house is not the problem though. The house is fine in many cases. It's just they can't afford it and they don't know what to do. So we would negotiate and I would get a contract on the property, let's just use round numbers, for $100,000. And then I would find people that were interested in rental properties or fixing and flipping the properties. And then maybe, for example, I would just give them that $100,000 property for $105,000. And then I made $5,000 in the process. That's what wholesaling is. And I got really, really good at it. And you can too. The number one thing that you need to do to make this all work for you is, one, establish yourself as a business. I tell you that all the time. Get your LLC, your S Corp, your C Corp, your DBA, whatever that is for you. I'm not gonna advise you. I have a whole video that teaches you on that. But you want to establish yourself as a real business so that when you're meeting with these sellers, you're not coming off as just some person. You're coming off as an entire company. You seem a lot bigger, a lot more credible, and it really, really works. And so when I would go into these sellers, I would talk to them and find out what was going on in their situation. You have to be very empathetic. That's the number one way to make a lot of money. Remember, you're going to people that are in financial distress. They're losing their property. Maybe someone died. Maybe someone got sick. Whatever the situation may be, they are in a tough situation and they're just looking for a solution. So fast forward, I became their solution. I would explain to them what happens in a foreclosure, how they were going to get dragged out onto the lawn and how the sheriff was going to come and take their stuff. I would basically explain to them what happens if they didn't sign the contract with me and let me help them. And then I did what I said. I would help them. So again, if you're helping someone and you're bringing value to the situation, that's how you earn your fee. And that is how I started making six figures. And to this day, I still wholesale property. It is still a part of our business. And although we have a seven-figure business, wholesaling and flipping contracts still equates for about at least $100,000 of our revenue. We still market to people with property problems, and they call us with all different situations, and we do different things with the properties. Some of the properties we keep and we fix and flip. Some of them we put tenants in, and some of them we wholesale to other real estate investors, and we make a fee. There's so many different things that you can do to help people. And it's not just about getting the contract and marking it up. There's tons of things that you could do. I'll give you a quick example. Sometimes when I would go into those situations with those foreclosures, the person may have owed kind of too much on the property. And we'll get onto some calculations. I actually have a whole video on how to calculate. But just say, for example, the house was worth $100,000 and they still owed about $100,000. So in many cases, it really wasn't a great deal for an investor, but they couldn't afford to keep that property, and I still wanted to help them. So another way that you can make money is finding a tenant for them to help them in that property. Finding investors that have tenants that are looking for properties. Find investors and get investors that have people that want to lease purchase properties. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I'm telling you, I have students and my team are making so much money doing some of these things that I'm telling you right here for free. And that's just what you do. You seek out people with a property problem and you offer them different solutions and you get paid for that. That's the key to it. And so that's how I turned this into a six-figure business. No, I've never made $1 million flipping houses. In fact, I don't know anybody that has, because, you know, $1 million a year is, $83,333 per month. So that's kind of a lot of money to make just picking up fees, $5,000, $10,000. Now, again, you can make a lot of money. Like I said, at least $100,000 a year we're making. However, you use wholesaling to get you to that next level. So I'm working my corporate job. Let me take you back. And I'm getting those $5,000. What do I get to do? Pay down my debt. Now I can quit my job. Now I got a little bit of change in my pocket. Guess what I can do now? I can flip that house. Instead of taking that contract and just picking up $5,000, giving it to another investor, and then he flipped the property and make a whole bunch of money, now I got a little coin. I'm going to go ahead, fix and flip the property myself. And the average profit on a fix and flip, again, look this up, this is not just Noelle saying it, is $65,520. So really quick, I know you can do the math to that. You don't really need a lot of flips to make a lot of money fixing and flipping. And that's why there's a lot more millionaire flippers than there are millionaire wholesalers. However, wholesaling is the key. You don't even want to flip houses until you really know how to wholesale, because that's where the money is. It's all in the marketing. You know, that's what I'm teaching you, and that's how this thing works. And that's how you make a ton of money in the process. Well, that wraps up this episode. And I have told you how much wholesalers make. I've shared with you how much money I make, and I'm gonna help you make the same money. Go ahead, remember, and subscribe to this channel so you can keep getting all of this information for free, so you can do these same things and start getting your checks too, to your success.